I welcome you to Primary 1 class. I'm teacher Nambuya Irene. I'm going to take you through news as usual. But before we begin the lesson, we have to first begin with a rhyme. So get ready for the rhyme and then we start off the lesson. So our rhyme for today, it goes like this. Good morning dear P.1s, how are you? We are fine. Good morning dear P.1s, how are you? We are fine. Good morning dear P.1s. Good morning dear P.1s. Good morning dear P.1s, how are you? We are fine. La 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 rhyme for today. Now let us begin our lesson. And our lesson, we are going first to remind ourselves about the things that we learned about the previous lesson. So our previous lesson was about the types of houses. And we said we have got two types of houses. The first type was a temporary house, and the second type was a permanent house. So we talked about a permanent house, and we said a permanent house is a house built using strong materials. And we said with a temporary house, these are houses built using weak materials. Now, we also gave the examples of each type of houses. And we said with the temporary houses, we have got huts, we have got mud houses. We said we also have tents and yun pots. We saw all those ones. They are examples of temporary houses. Now, we also gave the examples of permanent houses. And we said permanent houses, these are flats, storage houses, and bungalow. And we said storage houses are commonly found in towns. However, with the huts, they are commonly found in villages. So that was our previous lesson. Now we are going to have the new lesson today, and it is about the building materials. So we have the building materials. Now, we shall have the building materials. Now, building materials are the things or tools we use to build houses. Materials we use when we are building houses. So there are different materials that we use when we are building houses. So we have seen the building materials, and we have said these are the materials we use to build houses, or people use to build houses. Those are building materials. So we say building materials are materials. Building materials are materials people use to build houses. So we say building materials building materials. Now, we are going to first have or look at the materials we use to build temporary houses. So let us first have the materials we use to build temporary houses. Materials we use to build temporary houses. To build temporary houses. To build temporary houses. So, materials we use to build temporary houses. What are these materials that we use to build temporary houses? The first material is grass. Grass. Everybody there? Grass. So the first material we say grass. This grass is a very good material that we use more so when we are building huts. When we are building these huts. Huts and at times muddy houses. Muddy houses. So these mud houses are sometimes used grass to build them. So we can use them. We can use grass to build mud houses and temporary houses. And this grass here, we can find it in the bush. So you go in the bush or in the garden where you can get the grass. You can find any person, and it is done by people in the village. You find that person going to the bush, cutting grass. After cutting grass, they collect that grass together and they bring to building huts. That one is the first building material that we use to build huts. Now, another building material that we use to build huts are poles. Poles, everybody, poles. Now, with these poles, we can use them to build houses when we are supporting the hut or the mud house not to fall down. So it is giving it the foundation when and this house becomes strong. So we use these poles when we are building temporary houses. Another one is muddy soil. Muddy soil. We can use muddy soil. Mud soil, everybody. Mud soil. With mud soil, this one you get real soil, you know. I think everyone there knows what soil is. So you get soil, you mix it with water. After mixing it with water, you begin to squeeze it many times, and then it becomes ready. And it becomes ready for you to use to build a house. And it becomes a building material. Now, another building material is reeds. Another building material is reeds. These ones, they look like sugar cane. With a sugar cane, they have they have leaves. They have leaves, and when you look at the sugarcane and you look at these reeds, at times they look alike. But with the reeds, for them they are small in size. They are very small. You can find them when they are of this size. But with the sugarcane, you will find it when it is big. And I've not told you that sugar canes are also building materials. So with the reeds, they can also use as building materials. So these are some of the materials that we use to build temporary houses. Now, let us also have the materials we use to build permanent houses. Let us also have the materials we use to build permanent houses. Materials we use to build we use, or people use to build. Okay, there is a slight mistake here. Materials we use to build permanent houses. We use to build permanent houses. So, we are also going to have the materials that we can use to build permanent houses. The first material is cement. Cement is the first material that we can use to build permanent houses. So, this one is the word cement. Everybody, cement. Can you spell the word? It is C-E-M-E-N-T. Cement. Cement is a building material that we can use to build permanent houses. We also have nails. We spell the word nails. N-A-I-L-S. Nails. We also have another building materials that is wires. Wires, everybody. Wires. These wires can be also a material we use to build permanent houses. We also have what we call iron bars. These iron bars are used when we are building these very strong houses or strong buildings like a flat. They can put them there to make this building very strong. When you don't put the iron bars when you are building a house like this one, a flat, you can find that this flat, when it rains, when the strong wind comes, it can blow it and it falls down. That's why you find some buildings in town. They fall down because they don't put enough materials like iron bars to make the buildings very strong. And then another one is iron they make the roof of a house. But they are dangerous. So when you play with them, they can easily cause an accident. So these ones here, if they are not there, when you don't put them on the house, and strong wind or rain comes, all the water from rain will come and meet you in the place where you are. That's why when people are building houses, they put iron sheets. We also have another material. We also have another material, and that is sand. Sand. Everybody, sand. We also have sand as a building material. So this sand is used, you can get cement, you get sand, and you get water, you mix them together. Sometimes other people put their stones. When they put their stones, they make the material very strong to build a house. So we also have stones. We also have stones. We also have stones. So stones can be also used to build houses. Now another building material here is brick or bricks. If there are many, we call them bricks. And these ones, bricks, they are small in size. They are small in size. However, we also have another one which looks like this, but for them they are big in size. But these ones are small in size, and they can get water and soil. They mix them together to make bricks. But if you want to get those big ones, we call them blocks. We call them blocks. These ones are very big, and they are mainly used when we are building permanent houses. Because these ones are very strong. They are stronger than bricks. For them, they can get sand and they get water. They mix together to get the blocks. They are very big. When you go where they are constructing a building, you can find when people are using these blocks. And for them, they are very expensive than the blocks, than the bricks. So, I have not talked about the nails. Nails. With nails, they can also use as a building material. They can be used as a building material. And then we also have this one, timber. We also have timber. We also, okay, I had the written nails. Okay, let me remove this one and I put there timber. Timber. So these ones, they get them from the forest, from those big trees. From the big trees, they cut them down, they begin chopping into pieces, and then they get timber. So they bring them as a building material to build a permanent house. You cannot get timber and you put it on the hut. You cannot. Because these ones are very strong. So when you bring them and you put them on the hut will fall down because it is very heavy. So that's why people don't use it. So I think those are some of the materials that we use to build permanent houses. Now let us read it through. Building materials. Building materials are materials people use to build houses. Then we have materials we use to build temporary houses. The first material is grass. Another one are poles. We have mud soil. We have reeds. We have reeds. So those are some of the examples of temporary houses. Then let us also have the materials we use to build permanent houses. The first one here is cement. We also have nails. We also have wires. We also have iron bars and iron sheets. We also have sand and stones, bricks, blocks, and timber. So there are others. There are other materials that we can use when we are building our house. But these are just a few. So the list is endless. So we shall continue adding. If you are at home there, you can request your mother, you can request your father. Some of your fathers are builders. That is their work. That's where they get money to bring you to school. So you request them to tell you other materials that they use or where we use when we are building houses. So we are going to have our activity after doing all this and adding more from there at home. And then we have the activity. So I wish you the best. May God bless you.